The Poppy Playtime developers have recently been giving us a tons of new clues for Poppy Playtime Chapter 4. And in this video, I have so much to talk about, including the release date, teasers for the actual game, and characters that could potentially be in the game. So first, we're starting this video off strong with this supposedly leaked photo of Poppy Playtime Chapter 4. For Poppy Playtime Chapters 1, 2, and 3, there's been this one banner for each of them showing off the villain of the game, with a red background and the Poppy Playtime logo next to them. And now this person on Twitter, or X, or whatever you want to call it, has just said that they found a leaked version of the Poppy Playtime 4 banner. It shows Braun the dinosaur, and him next to the logo of Poppy Playtime 4. And I just want to say right now, I don't think that this is real at all. Mob Entertainment, the developers of Poppy Playtime, have been saying that they plan out the future for a bunch of new games, but we didn't get the Poppy Playtime 3 banner until the game actually came out. We had this red gas mask one for a while, but that was only temporary until we got the full reveal of Catnap. And another reason that I think that this might be fake is because I don't think Braun is going to be the villain for Chapter 4. At the end of Chapter 3, Poppy was saying that Catnap is the only obstacle in our way of defeating the prototype, pretty much the final villain for Poppy Playtime. And since they're building up the prototype as the next villain just for it to be Braun, that wouldn't really make sense. And Braun is a character that we've known ever since Chapter 1, and one of the most fun parts about hyping up a new Poppy Playtime game is finding out who the monster is, and for it to just be a character that we've already seen in the past, it would be kind of disappointing to many fans, so I don't think that that's what they're doing. And I'm not saying that Braun doesn't deserve to be in Chapter 4, he's deserved to be in the series ever since Chapter 1. We saw how he could possibly move in the Chapter 1 first trailer, and so far in all three of the games, we've only heard a couple of his voice lines on cardboard cutouts. But I feel like now, since we're getting more and more deep into the series, Braun is kind of an outdated character. We're moving on to things like Catnap, the prototype, so I don't think that they would go back and do Braun. But there is a chance that they could revisit things from past games, because at one point, someone in their Discord server asked if we're ever going to see parts that we never saw in Chapter 1, like this room, and a couple rooms that we also weren't able to access, and they said it will come back. Not that it might, it will. So if that comes back, there is a chance we could see past characters we haven't seen yet, maybe Daisy the Flower, Catbee, or possibly Braun. But anyways, speaking of the prototype, I did say that how he's pretty much the final boss for Poppy Playtime, so then that asks the question, is Chapter 4 going to be the last game? So far, everybody's been thinking that yes, Chapter 4 will be the final game in this franchise, and then a bunch of other people are saying no, it'll probably have a bunch more chapters. And me personally, I don't think that Chapter 4 is the last game, because at one point in Mob Games Discord server, one of the developers was joking around and saying that they should be in a VHS tape, but they're not, and then they said maybe for Chapter 5, and that's not all, because they also said or 6. And while that's not flat out confirming it, this does tease that there will be more games after Chapter 4. And most mascot horror games don't end at a short number like 4. At Poppy Playtime, I'm expecting at least 6 or 7, but those games are years down the line. Let's talk about Chapter 4 and its release date. So a couple days ago on their Twitter, they said that Chapter 3 had a development time of 8 months. And at first you might be like, oh, that means Chapter 4 is probably going to come out in 8 months if they start working on it now. Well, the problem with that is that they're obviously not just going to start on Chapter 4 right after Chapter 3 comes out, and they also have a bunch of other things to focus on, like Project Playtime, the Poppy Playtime movie. And about a month ago, they did say that they're meeting with movie studios after Chapter 3 comes out, so that meeting pretty much should have already happened. So maybe they're going to incorporate some stuff from Chapter 3 into the movie. But anyways, people in their Discord server were saying, oh, Chapter 4 is probably going to be another 2-year wait. But then one of the developers said that they're full steam ahead in Chapter 4's development, meaning that they're already starting on it now. And a big theory that's been going around for the past few weeks is that Chapter 4 is going to take place in this amusement park that we saw on a poster in Chapter 3. And we know that Mob Games likes to plan things out for the future. So if they already have the setting for Chapter 4, it makes sense that they would start working on the villain and the actual game itself. But my prediction for the Chapter 4 release date is sometime in early 2025. If not, then probably summer of 2025. I made a poll a few days ago and most of you seem to agree with me. And we don't really know the villain for Chapter 4 yet. My guess is some type of clown because it's taking place in an amusement park, supposedly. And if not that, they could always go back to some character they haven't done yet. Maybe Daddy Longlegs or Baby Longlegs, because we did see their cardboard cutouts in Chapter 3. And if you tried to play them, it would just be static. So that has to mean something. But anyways, moving on to some other news. Some of the smiling critters are getting some U2's plushies in a few weeks. The characters that are getting them are Dog Day, Catnap, and Crafty Corn of all people. I really did think that Crafty Corn was going to have a bigger role in the game than she did. But maybe she did do something in the game that we didn't see because she is getting a U2's plushie. But maybe they're just doing those 3 first and then they'll do the rest of the smiling critters later. But anyways, speaking of merch, For fun, if this video gets 1,000 likes, I will buy this. I don't really even know what it is. It just looks like some Huggy Wuggy thing. So if you want me to spend my money on this, then leave a like. But anyways, one of the last things I'm going to talk about in this video is a secret in Chapter 3 that you might have missed. Before the Huggy Wuggy chase scene, we saw one of these drawings on the wall. And it looks like Huggy Wuggy standing to someone's dead body. And I think that might be Kissy Missy. They have the same head shape. And this would explain what happened to her at the end of Chapter 3. That was pretty much the big cliffhanger for the game. We heard Kissy Missy screaming and we started to go back up and then the game just cut to credits. But if Huggy Wuggy did kill her, it can't be this one because this one's just a hallucination. So maybe the villain for Chapter 4 could possibly be the mangled Huggy Wuggy. Last time we saw him, we killed him by knocking him off a giant height, and it looks like he hit a bunch of pipes on the way down, but in Chapter 2 we saw his blue hairs and blood on the wall, teasing that he might not be dead. So maybe the Chapter 4 monster could be a version of him that's covered in blood or something. But the only question is, why would he kill Kissy Missy if they're lovers? And the answer to that is, I don't really know. And if you have a theory on that, leave it in the comments below. But yeah, I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. I recently hit 11,000 subscribers, which is crazy because in the last video I was talking about hitting 10,000 subscribers. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave a like. It would really help support the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.